Hey guys! In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a following on social media. I've been on social media for a while now, but for example, I had an Instagram account at the start of the year with 300, maybe 350 followers at a push. And I have made quite a few changes to being more consistent and a few other examples, which I will be talking about today, that has led me from going to 350 followers to over 77,000. That is a lot of followers, a lot of growth, given the fact that it has been less than a year. So I thought I would give you guys a little bit of insight to the changes I made and how it's turned out, what the results have been. I'm Jessie of Crochet by Jessie. Let's get into today's video. First of all, one really big thing with social media that I feel like it's like a problem area for a lot of people. It's just the different types of content that you can create. My suggestion is do every single type of content. You can have photo posts on Instagram, for example. You can have reels on Instagram. I think that there is a lot of hype around Instagram reels and just not so much about like pictures, which are just the typical posts you used to have on Instagram. Maybe more of my reels have done better at reaching a wider audience, but I feel like the audience is going to want to stick around if you also have some really beautiful, high quality photos of what you're making. Because yeah, sometimes videos can't necessarily capture the detail quite as much, where you have a beautiful, vibrant piece and then you have close-ups of that beautiful piece as well, which people are going to be able to appreciate. So yeah, I'd say photos are important as posts, especially on Instagram. Reels are really, really important. You want to keep changing things up. I also think that it's beneficial to have certain content such as YouTube, which is more long form content. You can post longer videos across on TikTok and Instagram, but I do find that a little bit less beneficial. I feel like the best way to do that is via YouTube. You guys can agree or disagree, but I would just say be as consistent as you can with being as varied as you can with that kind of content. As well as that, make sure that the topic of your posts, you change things up a little bit. So you could have finished projects, which you're currently working on. You could have concept posts of like a theme that you want to do for your next piece. You could literally find posts like that when you're not even working on something new, because crochet takes so much time. And you want to keep posting, but I understand not feeling like you can post loads of the same stuff because you don't want to feel too samey, but there are ways to do this where you can still post lots of very different content and be consistent while still focusing on one really big project in the background. Another example that I typically go through is I have obviously works in progress that I'm doing, but I also have like the design process. So I like to document my design process. That could be in videos of me literally working on the piece. That could be a few photos of close-ups of just the parts that I have done so far. And I can get a lot of content out of one project by doing it in lots of different contexts, because as long as you're not presenting it in the exact same way, you can really make a lot of content with just one project. One massive change that I found with building my following, I'm currently at over 77,000, which is crazy, but does show that I've clearly picked up some of the do's and don'ts when it comes to trying to build a following on Instagram. I did not think I was going to be in this position this soon, within a year, and the year's not even over yet. There's just a few things you need to do which do not take a lot of time that will make such a big difference. You guys really need to be consistent based off of what time you are posting. I obviously know that this is going to vary on certain days. For example, I've just released a pattern today and I've done a post at the release time, which is midday, which is so different to the typical times I do a post. For me, those are the wild cards. They're all a little bit different and it's bound to happen when I'm releasing a new pattern. But when it comes to day-to-day content, or every couple of days, depending on how often you'll post, being consistent with your time is so important. The reason for that is people are going to have a rough idea of when to expect a post from you. If you are sticking to that same time every single time you're posting, minus those few outsiders like I just said. To add to this, you can actually check and see what time your audience is most active on your platform, and you can use that as an idea of when to post. For example, a lot of my followers are most active from 6 p.m. onwards, so what I tend to do is I try to post at 5:30. If I can be organized, I will schedule posts for 5:30 just to make sure that I don't lose track of time, but it just means that that post is out there for when people are active and they're going to see, oh, Jessie's posted within the last half an hour. And genuinely, when I made this change, guys, I had the biggest shift in what felt like my followers were actually seeing my content. It wasn't just getting lost in the For You page and their own feed, which, yeah, it's so worth it because it's such a small change to make with such a good result. Another really important point is just don't be afraid to post about the same project a lot, because if people are following you for it, I guarantee they want to be seeing that content. I posted so much about my Tesserae jumper, both before the release, as it was releasing, I've posted about it since it's released, and I got a lot of my followers because they fell in love with the design. If you're following someone because you love their work and you love a certain design, people aren't going to complain when they're seeing more of your work. People are going to be happy because maybe it's a different version of it, maybe it's a close-up, maybe it's a funny video wearing it and they get to see your project again, your design. That's great. Maybe it's just some videos of you wearing it and people are able to see it from a different angle. You can get so much content from one project. If you're spending months literally to finish this project, milk it. Get as much content out of it as you can. If it is beautiful, people are going to want to see it. And if you're proud of it, you're going to want to share it. So it is a win-win. One thing that I found which has made me be more efficient with my posts to help build a following is when you have the chance, batch film content. It's such an important thing to do. What I mean when I'm saying batch filming content is if you have a day, like today for example, I've given my hair a bit of a curl, I've made an effort with my makeup, you bet that I'm going to be going and filming some short form content after I film this because I'm taking advantage of the fact that I could be asked to get ready today and make myself presentable. So I'm going to be filming a bunch of content with some more of my designs, some new designs. Maybe I'll be doing some really cool clips that I can then reuse for future videos. That's what you can do. There's no rule saying you can't reuse the same clips in different contexts. And if you are feeling very, very presentable and you're very happy to be on camera, take advantage of that and film a few extra videos worth than you maybe would have originally thought of doing. It's bound to save you time in the future. Maybe you have a future day where you were going to film content and you're not feeling up for it. That's fine because you've got a little backup of content that you've previously filmed, which you can just use instead. I, for one, have done this a lot. I'm getting into a habit of doing it. I'm finding it the best way to be effective with my time when I've got so many different things that I'm trying to balance. People are just happy to see your content and you're still making an effort with it. You're just doing it in a more condensed way instead of just doing it sporadically. The final point is something which I now live by because it is the best way of being effective with your time, aside for like batch filming content, for example, and that is sharing your content across platforms. When you're sharing your content across platforms, you could have the same video being an Instagram reel, a TikTok video, and a YouTube short. The only thing you have to be careful with is making sure the sound isn't copyrighted, so it can be on YouTube, for example. But if that is the case, then it can still be on Instagram and TikTok. So why not do it? If you are literally filming one video and you can use it across 3 platforms and have 3 lots of people seeing your work, and then you're building your following on 3 different places whilst just doing the effort of one video. I'm definitely getting into the habit of doing that. I think it is so worth it. Every algorithm works so differently as well. So you might have one video of the same, well, one video do... What I'm trying to say, you may have one video doing very, very well on one platform and not as well on another platform, or they may all do bad, they may all do well. You can never really predict, but it's still so worthwhile sharing those videos across all platforms because sometimes one may just go viral, and I feel like that is the case, and because of that, it's worth it. I hope you guys have found at least one tip to take away from this video that you guys can implement into your own social media. I promise you, these changes, they are not time consuming, they are not difficult, and the more you practice it, and it's just going to become an easy routine. You're just going to get so used to it. It's really not as much effort as people would think it is, and you're still going to see really great results. Obviously, it may take time. It depends on your niche, what you're working on, and the quality of your content as well. So all I can say is really take pride in the work that you are doing and just do not expect results overnight. Because for me, I was working on my content for a good 4-5 months before I really started to see growth in the account and growth in my following. So sometimes it may be overnight for people, other times you've really got to stay consistent, be proud of what you are producing in your work, and make sure that you don't just give up when there's not an instant change or an explosion in followers. However, if you do get that, I'm envious. Maybe my suggestions really are that good. With all of that being said, if you've gotten to this stage of the video and you're not yet subscribed, please do consider doing so, as well as pressing the bell to be notified when my next video is up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!